Unbelievable. It worked.
It's sort of cute when they're small.
Is that a joke?
Well, hopefully this news is a joke because I'm not finding it all that funny, but regardless, welcome back True Believers and all you merry Marvelites to another really important Marvel's Avengers related video. Now, while we are all still waiting for the next major news bomb for the Avengers project to actually officially drop from Square Enix, there has been even more information revealed from the head of Crystal Dynamics Studios, Scott Amos, who is discussing even more aspects about the game as a whole. And this time around, he's actually going in detail as to how many characters we can expect once the full game actually releases on May 15th, 2020, and sadly, it's not a whole lot. Like we know already, Marvel's Avengers is a completely third-person action-adventure RPG with huge elements of a live service slash games as a service title. This is mainly because that the statements that Crystal Dynamics made during their E3 presentation back in June of 2019 did in fact state that every new hero and region that will be added into the game will be delivered at no additional cost. And based on the other statements that they have made in the past, that there will be no types of loot boxes whatsoever regarding to getting better gear in order to upgrade your character when playing through the game. However, like we all know, they did previously confirm that there will in fact be microtransactions within Marvel's Avengers, but only pertaining to specific costumes that you can only unlock through the Avengers marketplace. So luckily, you won't have to pay for the best types of gear within the game, but you may have to pay for the specific costume that you do want to wear instead. But considering that they are trying to add in as much content as they possibly can for years to come to encourage their player base to keep playing it even after the main release, I do understand why they would put a paywall behind certain cosmetic items, but I am happy that they are at least not doing that for the earnable gear that you can completely get through playing the game. Although, even with all of those pros and cons laid out for all of you, there is still a major issue that I do have as of right now with this recent news coming from Scott Amos that the launch roster of heroes that will be added within the game is going to be relatively small, to say the least. Now, these statements from Scott Amos do come directly from a recent interview on IGN during the Luca Comics and Games convention, but I am going to take snippets from the Games Rant article because they do a great job of summarizing it in its entirety. And to quote their article directly, one of the biggest questions concerning Marvel's Avengers is which superheroes will be playable. The game had a major showing at E3 and put all of its emphasis on the core cast of Avengers: Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, and Hulk. But as it turns out, the launch roster of playable characters isn't going to be much bigger than that. Now, at the very end of the E3 presentation, the Avengers team teased the inclusion of Hank Pym, Ant-Man, with a short cinematic that includes the superhero and scientist. And a few months later, Marvel's Avengers was back in the spotlight with another trailer unveiling fan-favorite modern superhero Miss Marvel, aka Kamala Khan, as another playable hero. And because of this, many fans assumed this was just the first of many additional heroes that would be playable through the core game. But Crystal Dynamics studio head Scott Amos has shut that theory down. And to quote Scott Amos directly, he states the hero missions are reserved for the single player and put the player in front of levels built for the use of a particular hero and enhance the characteristics. But going forward, you will also unlock the Warzone missions, playable with any hero and at any time, both in single player and cooperative mode, up to 4 players. The only restriction is that you will necessarily need to select different heroes, so for example, there will be no Hulk-only teams. And to give more choices to the players, after the launch, other heroes will be published, in addition to the 6 that you will have initially available, which will in fact be available for free for the players. So based off of what Scott Amos is saying, that means that the only heroes that we can expect to play as once the game officially launches on May 15th, 2020 are the main core 6 heroes that we have seen so far. And of course, to recap that cast once again, that includes Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, and the main protagonist of the entire story with Miss Marvel. Now, if I'm gonna be honest, I do find this a little bit disappointing considering that we did get a flat-out teaser trailer of Ant-Man to be featured in the game, but apparently he won't be actually playable until sometime after the game's launch. Now, of course, I am fully aware that the main narrative that Marvel's Avengers is focusing on is going to mainly revolve around the core team of Avengers that we did see during A-Day, as well as Kamala Khan reuniting the team back together in order to take down AIM. But after you complete the main narrative of Marvel's Avengers, Avengers, which is approximately going to take around 10 to 12 hours, coming directly from the senior brand director of Crystal Dynamics, Rich Briggs, you would think that there would be a lot more characters to actually play as within the Marvel's Avengers roster after you complete the main story, like another great example from another recent Marvel game with that of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. So hopefully this means that they will keep adding new heroes at a regular basis instead of having to wait literally years on end to actually receive an extremely popular character that a lot of people are looking forward to. So as an example, if Ant-Man is not going to be featured in the main game, even though we already saw a teaser trailer of him, I could see them possibly releasing him a month or two after the game's main launch. But if it turns out that we're going to have to wait until 2021 or 2022 until some extremely popular Marvel characters appear within the game like that of Black Panther or Doctor Strange, then I'm just going to be extremely disappointed to say the least. It really seems like Square Enix are banking on the fact that all the main players will love the core team of Avengers that we do have right now and will be more than happy to wait long periods of time until the next hero releases within the game. But in reality, if it turns out the game is just a haphazardly handled mess by the time it launches, then people are just going to simply stop playing it altogether. So based on all this new information, I really hope that the core team of Avengers can truly keep us all encapsulated with playing the game until the next hero releases down the line. But for me personally, every time we end up hearing some more information about how this game is structured, the less confident I turn out to be. So hopefully by the time that May 15th, 2020 comes around, that the entirety of the game can fully surpass my current expectations. And until that time comes, everyone, that's the video I have for you today, and please let me know all your thoughts in the comments section down below. What do you think about the Core 6 team of Avengers being the main playable roster of characters at your disposal at the game's launch, and does this make you either agitated to wait for more heroes or just willing to wait for them to actually release by the time they do come around? Again, I don't want to have to wait years on end to play as a really popular Marvel character that everyone is in love with just so that they can finalize their animations and all their costumes. A lot of these online live service games haven't really had the best launches when it does come to their multiplayer platform, so I'm really hoping that Marvel's Avengers can turn the tide once it does release. And until that time comes, everyone, thank you all so much for watching, stay merry Marvelites, and peace out.
And to make sure everyone comes on this journey with us, we're incredibly thrilled to announce that every new superhero and every new region will be delivered at no additional cost.
No pressure, right?